Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you guys my Gusto deck profile for June 2016. It's actually been quite a while since I've done an update to this deck, but was playing around with it recently. It's an updated version using the Speedroid engine, which is really more consistent in my opinion. It really speeds up the deck. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. I run 3 Winda, Priestess of Gusto. The whole basis of the Gusto deck is to shuffle back your Gusto monsters for card effects, and also special summon repeatedly off of the smaller monsters. So when Winda is destroyed by battle with an opponent's attacking monster, you can special summon a Gusto tuner from your deck. So you can get out any of the birds, which are the tuners, while the humans are the non-tuners that you synchro with. And I also run 2 Kamui, Hope of Gusto. That's a flip effect. When it's flipped up, you special summon a Gusto tuner from your deck. So you use Winda and Kamui to get out the tuner monsters and synchro summon with those monsters. And I also run 3 Pilika, Descendant of Gusto. Probably the best card in the deck. When she's normal or special summon, you can target one wind tuner in your graveyard, special summon that target in face-up defense position. Its effects are negated, and if you activate this effect, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for wind monsters. You can only use the effect of Pilika once per turn. So the wind restriction is your biggest thing you want to go off of, so you run a lot of wind monsters in the extra deck. You can get out Exceed monsters, any of the synchros for the Gustos if you have the right level. She's overall good, just for that effect basically. And I run 2 Rees, Whirlwind of Gusto. Basically, you can return 1 card from your hand to the bottom of the deck to target 1 monster your opponent controls and 1 face-up Gusto monster you control to switch control of those monsters. If the Gusto monster, when you battle it, is destroyed on your opponent's side of the field and sent to your graveyard, you'll get the special summon back to your field. So giving your opponent your monsters that are Gustos isn't really, too much of a negative effect on you. It actually helps you in a way, because you're gaining your opponent's monsters and not losing yours. And I also run 2 Cam, Serenity of Gusto. You can shuffle back 2 Gusto monsters from your graveyard to the deck to draw 1 card. She's got some pretty good power stats as well. But the recycle effect is just so you can keep on getting your destruction powers off for your Gusto monsters. And for the birds, I run 3 Gusto Guldo. Only have 2 sadly at the moment, still need to find 1 more. But when it's sent from the field to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 level 2 or lower Gusto monster from your deck. The most versatile of the destruction monsters, you can get Winda or a Gaul, whatever you need for the situation. And it also really helps with your OTK move that you can do with Daigusto Freeze. And I run 2 Gusto Agal. Only run 2 of this card, basically because it is situational. When it's destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon 1 non-tuner, level 4 or lower Gusto monster from your deck. So you can get Winda back and continue the loop. But it's like more restricted because Winda is usually the only target you want to go for. You can also go for Pilika, but you'll lose your special summon if they end up ramming over her. Pilika's best to do during your turn, just so you can keep in control of your synchro summons. And I also run 1 Gusto Thunbolts, basically for the Rees search that you can get off of this effect when it's destroyed and sent to the graveyard. You can add, you can remove from play 1 Gusto monster from your graveyard to special summon 1 wind Psychic type monster with 1500 defense or less from your deck. So that'll get out Rees or Cam if need be. And then for the Speedroid monsters, I run 3 Terratops. Like I said, it just helps with the speed consistency with this card, searching out your other Speedroid monsters that I run, which are 2 Tick and Tomborg, just for the special summon, because you'll fill up the field with your Speedroid monsters through special summons, which Tick and Tomborg can tribute itself to search out the Tri-Eye Dice Tuner that I run. And like I said, they don't take up your normal summon because they filled the biggest void in this deck, which was you have 1 normal summon, and after that you don't have any more plays unless you can get out additional monsters, which is what the Speedroids are meant to do. So they help fill up the field, like I said, for the synchro summons, while you can still keep your normal summon for your Gusto monsters. And for spell cards, I run 2 Emergency Teleports, another card that really helps with the 1 normal summon condition. You can summon Pilica off of this card and get its effect to search, so get 2 cards for just 1. Then your Synchro Summon into Freeze will add back a card as well, which is what I really hope this card would have stayed at 3 for this deck alone, but sadly it's at 2. And I also run 3 Creature Swap, only have 2 at the moment, so teching in 1 Mystic Box, which is not as good as Creature Swap in my opinion, because you lose the 1 monster you could have taken for your opponent to use. But other than that, Creature Swap, you'll swap, maybe hopefully take something good of your opponents, and then give them one of your lower attack Gusto monsters to attack into with their monster and get the special summon off of that. And 1 Upstart Goblin just for draw power. 1 Mind Control. Again, with the swap effect, with the Creature Swap, you can use Mind Control to take your monster back that was given to your opponent to use for, let's say, Synchro Summons. And also 1 Dark Hole and 1 Regeki, just for pesky monster clearing that, you know, your Gustos can't take care of. And 1 Foolish Burial as well. Some people like running the Miracle Synchro Fusion in the deck. If you were to run that, I'd recommend taking out the Foolish Burial and the Upstart Goblin. The Foolish Burial is good just because you can send Gusto monsters that, let's say you open this and Pilica, you could send and then get off of Pilica's special summon, the Guldo, just for quicker plays, like let's say if it's your first turn. And for traps, I run 3 Fiendish Chain, pretty much the same idea with this card as Dark Hole and Regeki, but Fiendish Chain will negate the monster effect and still keep it there. And there's a big play with this deck, 2 OTK by ramming into that monster. You don't want to, you know, have a monster that's difficult to get over. Like, let's say for example, I know it hasn't been used a lot, Ally of Justice Catastor, you know, when you attack it, if it's not a dark monster, which all of them are wind, it'll destroy itself. So Fiendish Chain will take care of any of those attack effects or effects, you know, that can't be activated when they're battling, so it helps in that situation. And I also run 1 Solemn Warning, 1 Bottomless Trap Hole, and 1 Compulsory Evacuation Device. I just like the Compulse over the Torrential just because you can bounce back monsters to their original hand, so you can get back your Gustos that are your opponents back to your hand. And now for the extra deck, I'm missing a few of the Synchro monsters for Gustos, including Daigusto Guldos and Daigusto Agulds, but I would recommend running 1 of each of those, the level 5s and the level 7s. I also need 1 more Daigusto Freeze. She's part of your OTK. If you get her out, you can add 1 Gusto monster from your graveyard back to your hand, and then any Gusto monster that battles, your opponent takes the damage. You can repeatedly swing with your Gusto monsters into your opponent's monsters, and they'll take all the damage, and hopefully that's your game-winning condition. And Freeze cannot be destroyed by battle either, so kind of difficult to get over unless they, you know, bounce her back to the deck or destroy her by card effects. And I also run 1 Falcos, good for the bump up effect, just for power. When you need to get over something pesky of your opponents that'll be a threat next turn, let's say. And 1 Black Rose Dragon just for the blow up power. 1 Daigusto Phoenix for multiple attacks as well. And 1 Daigusto Morale to shuffle back your Gusto monsters. And 1 Totem Bird so you can exceed summon with your Speedroid monsters. And as for backup wind monsters as well, the Mistworm, Crystal Wing, Clearwing, Old Entity Haster instead of the Falcos if you wish, Stardust Dragon, Speedroid Chunbara, and if you are running the Speedroid variant, recommend kicking in Ultimate Axon Kicker just for the power plays as well. Wasn't really much of an extra deck, fully 15, as much as it was just an explanation of what to run. I know I kind of went overboard with, you know, the additional ones I said to add, but mix and match these versions and you should be good for your 15 card extra deck. So yeah, that's it for the deck profile. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and Kira Twig out.